So, hi everyone. Welcome and thank you for joining. I'm Shruti Darekar, Product Manager at Amoeboids. Today, we are going to talk about a very real problem that most teams face. How do you communicate release notes when your work is spread across multiple Jira projects? Not just technically, but in a way that actually makes sense to your stakeholders. So, without any further ado, let's just get into the agenda, what we are going to exactly discuss today. So, first, we will discuss the challenges that every team faces while communicating release notes across multiple Jira projects. Then, what is the why exactly manual cross project release notes don't scale? Then, we will discuss release updates as a single unified story. We'll also see a live demo of how to create these cross project reports. We will also discuss some AI features of ARNR and how they will help you in creating these reports, some key takeaways, and some real world use cases, which will be followed by a question and answer session. So, let's first discuss the challenge of cross project release communication. So, let me start with a simple example. Imagine you're shipping one platform update, but the work lives in one mobile project, then there's a web project, and some backend API project as well. So all three teams ship things at the same time. So on the surface level, it will look that for your product, version 3.2 is released, but actually the work has been done in three different projects across three different teams. And leadership does not care about this data being in three different projects. It's going to just ask, what did we exactly release? And that's where exactly everything starts to break. So, what exactly breaks at scale? At small scale, managing three projects is a very simple task. But at real scale, everything becomes chaos. Release notes become repetitive. Someone always misses a ticket. Stakeholders get three different documents. The release manager spent hours just copy pasting instead of actually working on those releases. And we are here to solve this major problem. So, why manual cross project release notes don't scale? I'm so sorry. So, why exactly manual cross project release notes don't scale? Most teams still do this, that Jira updates will be exported into Excel spreadsheet, and then they will copy and format these manually. They will chase people on Slack to update, maybe transform the technical data into release ready descriptions, because customers don't care about the technical details. Customer needs a simple language summary of what exactly was released. So chasing people on Slack for that or Teams, and just hope that no ticket was missed. That's the most important, because if anything is being done manually, there is chance of human error and possibility of something getting missed. And everything will work at small scale, but as larger scale, it doesn't. And then your release notes and all the reports that you want to create are very late, they are inconsistent, and very unreliable. So, what is the impact of these manual release notes? First major impact is on time. Your hours are wasted every release. Instead of actually investing them into your actual release work, you are just creating reports and doing all the rework. Your quality is impacted. different tone for different reports, different structure for every report. Your trust is impacted because stakeholders stop believing in what you have written. And the major impact on teams, that the teams are burned out every launch, every release, the teams are burned out by doing this extra manual work. So this is not just inefficient, but it is also very unsustainable. But what if your release updates were structured, centralized, repeatable, and generated in minutes? And that's exactly what we are going to see today. So, introducing one click cross project release notes and reports using ARNR, that is Automated Release Notes and Reports app. So, without going further, let's just see a quick demo of what exactly ARNR is and how do we create these reports. So, even before starting with the reports, let me show you, starting with the demo, let me show you some of the reports, some of the cross-project reports that were created using ARNR app. So this is a version workload report. You see? This is the kind of report that you can create. Here you can see version name. There are two different versions. The data is coming from two different versions. For one, it is 14 January 2026. The other is 9th October 2025, roadmap 4GUI. These are the different version names. Then there are projects as well. One is from automated release notes. The other project is other Atlassian apps. What was the schedule of these versions? Which team members exactly worked on it? And the issue overview. How many stories, bugs, tasks were worked on from this other Atlassian apps version. These three were the major ones. And from another project that was automated release note, these were the issues that the team worked on, and so on. And you can see how structured the report can be. So this was one of the reports. This is another report, ITSM Weekly Major Incident Report. Again, I'm using the same two projects, the report date and the duration. And here you saw that the data is in either a sequential format or a tabular format. Here, you can also see a grid format. I'll show you how to create this, but this is just an example of the different kinds of reports that you can create. And these are the PDF reports. You can also create Confluence. You can directly publish a page in Confluence. So this is a bug report that is concerning these two projects, CodeWeave and AgroCar, for the last 30 days. So here are the stats of how many bugs were stuck, how many were resolved, and so on. And you see the summary of current bugs, and it is differentiating, grouping all the bugs according to the project. This is also possible. So first was for CodeWave, second is for AgroCorp, and the tables. So these are the different kinds of reports that you can create. You can create more reports out of it depending on how creatively you create the templates. What exactly I mean by templates, I'll show you now. Okay. So this is the interface of, sorry. So this is the interface of automated release notes and reports. You can just go to the left navigation pane and search for the app here once it is installed on your instance. The dashboard gives you a quick overview of which templates you're using, which rules you use mostly, and all that. Basically the usage of ARNR app. But we are not interested in that. What we are interested in the templates, how to create templates for these reports, because you're not going to create this report every time from scratch. You're just going to create a template once and you will reuse the same template again and again, so that right now it was created for a particular version for particular projects. You can again create the same report for some different project and different version. So I'll directly explain you how the version workload report was created. So this is a template, and how exactly you can create these templates is just go to create. You can create different kinds of template: email, PDF, Confluence, Slack, Teams, PowerPoint, LinkedIn announcements, MS Word, JSM announcements, and so on. So creating all these templates is pretty much similar. So once you know any one of the template, how to create it, you can create any of it. So I'll just go to the pre-created template for the ease of the demo. First and foremost, you just need to name the template a unique name to identify the template. Now this is a PDF template. So first I've added a table of contents because I want table of content on my um, PDF. And if I edit it, you can see it will create this TOC according to the heading levels that I am giving. So all the heading levels that I'm using in this template, I can tell from 1 to 6 which heading are we using, and it will be created automatically. All these images, you can add these images on your PDF. No, version overview. So this report is being created for two versions from two different projects. Now, how do we identify that? So for that, ARNR has its own variables. You can just go to variable macro, and here you can select for users for on project level, version level. If you're using sprints, then you have sprint variables as well. So how this work is that if I'm using versions, then and I want version name. So I'll just click on version name. I'll click insert, and wherever my cursor is, this variable will get inserted. Or I can just type in as well. If I know the syntax, I can just type in the variable that I want. And now these variables, if there is no number appending any variable, that means it will work for any one project or version. But if I have the same variable, like here it's version name with no number and then version name 1. So this is for a version from maybe from different project, or maybe from same project but different version. So that's how we use it. Similarly for project name and project name 1, so that I can select two different projects. Here I can add my development schedule, and I can use all the date variables. Here you have date variables as well, date timestamp and all those things. So you can use those variables. You can add the operators and get all the data. You can add the users macro, that is here, the users macro, to add all the users that have been working in this particular, I mean, all the issues that you want to fetch on a particular report. And using it is simple. So every data that we are fetching in all the reports in ARNR, we fetch them by using JQL. So if you can use the power of JQL, you can fetch any data. So for example, here I want to fetch names of all the developers. So my JQL is from this particular project and the fixed version. I want all the assignees where it is not empty. So fetch all those assignees and those users will be fetched. Similarly, it's done for project managers and QA engineers as well. Then comes the stats. So here, as you see, there are some numbers that 4 stories were worked on, 6 bugs were worked on. So how do we get those? For that, we have stats. There's the stats and charts macro. You can simply click on it, open it, and we have two types. So either it can be stats or bar chart. In this report, we are only using stats. Again, you will use a JQL. So here you want the count of all the stories in both the versions from both the projects. So my JQL is project in, this is the normal JQL format, and project ID, project ID 1. So these are the ARNR variables. These ARNR variables work in the JQL. So you can even no need to hard code any of the project. You can keep on reusing it using the ARNR variables. And then I can select if I want the count, or if I want all the story or sum of all the story points of all the stories in these two versions. So I can do that as well. So I'll just select sum and I'll select story point estimate. So this is also possible. So you can either get count of issues, or you can get sum of any numeric value that you have on your issues, or you can create a bar chart as well. Again, in bar chart, you just need to give the JQL, select what exactly will be there on the x-axis, select the aggregate you want count or sum, and your bar chart will be created. And then comes the JQL section. So what JQL section is going to return is this kind of data. It can be in table format or a sequential format or the grids that we saw in this report and so on. So how do we create that? So here's the JQL section. You can insert it just by clicking on it, edit it. And in section, first thing is that you will give a title to your JQL. You can also add a description to it. And as I said, everything is using every information that is being pulled into any of the report is pulled by JQL. So here also we are using a JQL and using ARNR variables inside this JQL. Then the next is, once we know that these are the issues that we need to fetch, but from these issues, which fields do we want to fetch? So here we select all the fields. If I want to add any more fields, I can just select it from here and add it. And there are extra settings for each field. You can just click on this settings, the gear icon, and you can customize it however you want. And the third most important is the layout. So whether you want a table layout, a sequential layout, or grid layout. Table layout, you don't have to do anything. It will automatically create this kind of table. You can customize it. So here you can see the heading is in green color. So all those customizations can be done in field. So here you can see the header style and entry style have applied the sea green color, the white border, and so on. So you can do that. So that's how you customize a table. In sequential layout, for all the fields that you have added, you get variables and you can define in which format these variables should appear in your report. So in that, that's how a sequential layout comes out. And in grid layout, you can define this kind of grid. So here I can show you that template as well. So we actually defined that this is how we want a grid, and that's how our output is generated. So that's how a JQL works. So these are the kind of reports that you can create. And we have extra customizations for PDF and Word templates, because PDF and Word most of the times have the first page, the title page, and the last page. So you have those advanced settings as well. So you can select the page settings, the margins, the title page, how your title page should look, how your last page should look. So that's exactly what you can see here. So this is my title page. And if I scroll down, my last page, just a logo. That's what I want. Yeah. So there are n number of possibilities that you can use to create these reports. I just showed you three out of all the possibilities. You can try it out yourself and create more. We'll also discuss some of the use cases for creating more this kind of reports. Now, let's come to the next part. Once a template is created, you need to create a rule. So uh, once a template is created, these rules will get executed every time you want to create a report. And then you don't need to create anything manually, because this template is the base for all your reports. So for creating rule, you just need to click on create and just give your rule a name and save it. That's all. I'll just go to a pre-created rule to explain the next steps. So here I have created two email actions. So once a rule is created, you need to click on add action. And here you can see there are multiple kinds of actions that you can perform. You can send an email to your stakeholders. You can directly publish a page in Confluence. You can post these reports to some external endpoint like SharePoint or any other data management system that you're using. Or you can use Jira operation. In Jira operation, what we do is any new Confluence page that you have published, we add that link to your releases in Jira automatically. Or you can push a JSM announcement, publish on social media, that's LinkedIn, send and notification to Slack or MS Teams. You can even generate an AI generated video and so on. So here I've already created two email actions. After creating an email action, I need to select an email template. So just now I showed you how to create a PDF template. Similarly, you can also create an email template. You can add that. And to an email, you can add multiple attachments as well. So here I've added version workload for cross project, the same template that we were discussing right now. And just add the users that you want to send this to. So I've already added the email address and save it. And there are many more other configurations that you can go through. Uh, there are a number of possibilities for the customization you can try out. So once your multiple actions are added, because in a rule you can add multiple actions. So whenever you are executing a rule, you can send email to your stakeholders. You can add multiple attachments, Word, PDF, HTML, Markdown, or a PowerPoint attachment, and so on. The next step can be publishing to the Confluence, because you want an internal Confluence page created for all the information. And then you can send a Slack notification to your uh, channels, so that everyone in your team gets notified, yes, this report has been published, and they can go and check it on Confluence, or they can check out their emails and so on. So you can do that as well. So in one single rule, you are adding multiple actions, so you do not have to go and trigger each of the action. Just triggering one rule is going to complete all your actions. That's how automation works. So I have already added these two actions. Now I'll just execute this rule. So here you can see, because nothing is hard coded, it's going to ask us which project and which version do I want to publish this particular report for. So let me select my project and the version. And just as a use case, suppose I want same project but different version of the same project, I can select the same project again, or I can select a different project as well. That is also possible. And okay, so this rule is getting executed, and I can just go to the logs and see here that my action is in queue and it's getting executed. So after getting executed, you can see one is in progress, the other is in queue. After getting progress, sorry, after getting executed successfully, it will show you this kind of success message. You can view the emails. So this was the cross project email that we just triggered, the template that I selected. Here I'm grouping by the assignees. So this is the email. And with email, these are actually the same attachments that were created. So this is how exactly ARNR works. So now I also wanted to discuss few of the use cases that you can create these reports for. So for example, um, imagine that your customer needs you have a project where there are multiple customers tickets are present, and you want to send your report for a particular customer. You don't want all the tickets to be uh, pulled in a single report. And how do you organize that data in Jira is by adding particular customers label to your issues. So you can see that there are multiple projects. In multiple projects for the same client, you have multiple issues. So you can just create a project saying that pull all the issues from all three projects from these particular versions, wherever the label is for this particular customer, and your report is created. For this, sorry, yeah. So there are such multiple use cases, and for just to make it easy, I used only two projects, but in real world scenario there could be 6 projects or 10 projects from where you are fetching this data, which can get very tedious when you're doing it, you're creating these reports on a large scale. So yeah, so that's where ARNR comes in and helps you create all these multi-project release notes and reports, not just release notes, but you can create multiple different kinds of projects like the bug report that I showed you, or the ITSM report, or a report for your customer success team to identify which project had the most bugs, most customer requests, which customers are most satisfied, and so on. So, and you can also use some AI features in the app. Will There are multiple videos available on YouTube for all the AI features that we have on our app, so you can use those as well. And that's where we come to Q&A. So I hope you liked the presentation. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll take that as a no. So moving forward, you can try our app completely for free. Just scan the QR code, and we have two apps, one free and the other one paid. The free app has all the features that you have on paid, just with a small fee that you cannot execute more than 5 rules per month. So, but it's actually good for you to try out all the features. So give it a try if you like the use case, and if you think this can help your organization. And thank you so much for joining.